let's do this. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I thought I would talk about the books I read in July, so this is my July wrap-up video in the middle of August. But you know, yeah, I was going to film this earlier, but it just didn't feel like it. But here we are. If I get attacked by a cat, it's Nana because it's overly cuddly today and it's almost annoying. And if I keep looking down, it's because I'm looking at my script. Yeah, I'm looking at my script because there was a lot and I have thoughts. But in July I read 10 books in total, and 2 of the books I read was paperbacks, and it was A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. And those books, that series, I actually got a bookish. Really? I know you have you have opinions, but I got a bookish tattoo after finishing it. It's my first bookish tattoo, and I want so many more. But yeah, I might insert a video of it around here somewhere. Let's see if I can show this off properly. But here is the bookish tattoo I got. It is, well, new, but I got the moon for the Night Court, because yes, I was influenced, and the 3 stars for Valaris. So I am constantly and always carrying a piece of the ACOTAR series with me, and it's very, I know, I'm obsessed, but I love it. I love this tattoo. It's one of, how many do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tattoos, but this is my newest. And I love it. I'm just gonna keep adding to the bookish. But yeah, so, you know, just slightly obsessed. I'll get up here then. And 7 of the books I read was ebooks. I'm, like I mentioned previously, I'm not a hardcover fan, so if I said that I read physical books, it's most likely paperbacks, unless I like borrow some from the library or something. I read a lot of romance from Stuff Your Kindle Day. This cat, and there was a lot of hits and misses. I think there was a lot of indie authors, but it was nice. Most of the ones I got were really short, so they were very nice and soft reads. I kind of like just flew through them, and I think that's how I ended up reading as many books as I did, because July was my most hectic work month this summer. I work as a barista in a tourist town, and July is our prime tourist month. So, you know, I have no idea how I pulled off 10 books, but I pulled off 10 books, especially considering A Court of Silver Flames is over 700 pages. I have no idea how I did that, but I did that. I think I read it in a week, which means that I read roughly 100 pages in that book a day while working. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did that. And even though most of the, A Court of Frost and Starlight is a 4-star read, while A Court of Silver Flame is a 5-star read, hands down. But a lot of the ebooks were at least 3-star reads. They were okay. They weren't horrible, but they weren't like top notch either. One of the Stuff Your Kindle Day books that actually stuck with me like no tomorrow is To Kill a Fae, and I'm definitely planning on reading the rest of the series, but we'll get to it. In total, in July, I read 2,932 pages. Yeah. And as I mentioned, the thickest book was A Court of Silver Flames with 757 pages. The book with the least amount of pages was To Catch a Fae, and it was just 149 pages long. And To Catch a Fae and To Kill a Fae are 2 completely different series. Let's just put it out there. Let's just remember that. It's 2 completely different authors, different everything. Seriously, you are starting to get annoying, but you're adorable, so it's fine. I also received and read an advanced reader copy that has since then been published, and it was Graveyard Shift by Melanie Davis. It was fast paced, it was action, it was perfect, perfect for the lovers of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and stuff like that. It was just giving me the vampire vibes of my teenage years, and I loved it. I flew through it. It was so good. So if you are looking for a fast paced Van Helsing vampire werewolves witches kind of vibe, check it out. But yeah, so hectic work month. I cannot stress how much I am looking forward to this summer to be over, where I'm not working, where I'm currently working anymore. But these are the books I read, some thoughts, and the star rating. And we are starting with A Court of Frost and Starlight, and it was a 4-star read, like I said. Because, I mean, after reading the first 3 books of the series and getting so used to the constant action and things that happened, it was so... Do you see the amount of fur in this space right now? But anyway, after reading the first 3 books that was fast-paced and action-packed, getting to A Court of Frost and Starlight was not what I expected. And at first I gave it a 3-star rating, but after giving it some thought and after reading A Court of Silver Flames, I could see that A Court of Frost and Starlight was necessary to understand what's going on in A Court of Silver Flames. But still, and I keep looking that way now because my bookshelf is over there. But yeah, so it grew on me. I can see that it's needed. So it ended up being a 4-star read in the end. To Catch a Fae by Mila Young was a 5-star read. How was this a 5-star read? Okay, but anyway, this was the first book I read first off my Kindle day. And it kind of set the tone, but at the same time, I'm like, it was good. It was really good. A human girl gets... Well, she thinks she's human, let's just put it like that. She thinks she's human, but she gets transported into a different world where she meets different princes. I think they're princes if I remember correctly. And her world kind of gets tossed upside down. But the thing that bothered me is that this is the first book in a series, and in this book, the female lead character is just in high school. And the man that she ends up flirting with and kissing is older, to say the least. So it kind of bothered me, because I don't know what it's like wherever who watching is, but in Sweden you're not legally allowed to have sex until you're 16, and high school in Sweden starts at 16. And then again, it doesn't really say which year in high school she's at, but still, it rubbed me the wrong way. It was still a good read. It was hot and steamy and fed things in my head that hadn't been fed in a while. But the age gap. And then we have Sin on a Dark Night by Rhiannon Futch, and I'm pretty sure I butchered the name. And it's a 2-star read. And I love a fast-paced book. But this one just, it felt like it was a bit rushed. It was good, but it felt a bit rushed, and it felt like if there would have been more time, we would have gotten to know more about basically everything. And this is yet another first book in a series, so I have a feeling, okay, you're annoying now. So I have a feeling that if most things are probably going to get explained further along in the series, but as of right now, I can't say that I'm even interested in reading the rest of the series. It was just too fast-paced, even for me. So, yeah. But after I read that one, I read A Court of Silver Flames. Oh my god! Can you tell I'm excited? But this is when the gushing starts. Yeah, okay, this series. The thing that I found hard when I first started reading A Court of Silver Flames was to switch from Feyre and Risen being the main characters to the main characters being Nesta and Cassian. But it was so good! Because throughout the entire series, I have hated Nesta. I have hated that woman with a passion. But then shit goes down, And it kind of starts in like A Court of Frost and Starlight, but then in A Court of Silver Flames you get explanations. You get like to know why she's behaving like she is, why she's being a bitch, and you kind of get to see a different point of view. I mean, it's from her point of view, but you kind of get to see why she's behaving like she is. And then I was suddenly sat there reading this book and I realized, well, damn! I was suddenly like identifying myself with Nesta, with how she's handling things and in the way she's handling them. I was like, okay, well, no, this wasn't, no. I didn't want to be identifying with a character that I had been hating through the entire series, but by the end of the book I was loving her. Yes, you heard me right. I went from hating her to loving her, and I am looking forward to the next book, because we are getting a next book in the series, and I want it like yesterday, but I have to be patient. But yeah, it made me identify with her in ways I wasn't expecting, and it was really good. I want to reread the series, but I have a feeling I should wait at least a little. And after that I read Marked by Death by KJ Harper, and it's a 4-star read. Another Stuff Your Kindle, and another fast-paced. It was just 183 pages, and it has necromancer, so it has magic, it has talking familiars. I mean, we have a talking tabby in this book, okay? It's adorable. And it's a gay romance. So, you know, I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked it. The one thing that was like, was how the necromancer went, oh, but I knew you as a kid, so I can't be with you, in like a physical, sexual kind of way, you know? But then all of a sudden he was okay with it, and they were kind of just throwing themselves at each other. It was kind of weird. It was good, but it was kind of weird. It just, the way it happened felt a bit off to me. After that, I read Last King by Mabel Daniels, and it was a 3-star read. It was okay. It wasn't really memorable. It was like, okay, she was working, the main character is a woman, and she's working as a healer in the village where she's living at. But then the village get attacked, and she ends up on an adventure, and she starts off in the book not knowing anything about basically her past, and then all of a sudden she has powers that she somehow has to learn how to control, and as the book prolongs, she just automatically knows how to handle things more and more. It just, no. It felt like one of those things where the main character gets very OP very fast, and it just threw me off guard, and no. I mean, I don't regret reading it, but it wasn't an instant love either, so it just wasn't for me. But then, after that, we have To Kill a Fae by Jamie A. Water, and this is the book that stuck with me. This one, To Kill a Fae and A Court of Silver Flames, have been like my July. My July. I'm just gonna read to you exactly what I wrote in my script, and it's a 5-star read, and I wrote, now this was a complete upgrade, and oh my god, I couldn't put it down. This is the first Stuff Your Kindle day book that gripped me and held my attention in the complete way that it did. I completely devoured and loved this book, so there's no hesitation for me when I say that I'm going to be reading the rest of the series if I can get my hands on them. I mean, dragons, fae, demons, magic, old gods, it has it all. And I really want to get to that spice, because you get hints at the spice throughout the book from between several different characters, but you don't really get the spice, and I want to get to the spice because I have a feeling when I get to it, it's gonna be mouth-watering. But I can't. This book is so good. You get introduced to the main character in a really epic way, and it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And I mean, the love interest turns out to be... I don't want to spoil anything. But it's so good. I can't. Ooh, it stuck with me. Just gonna pause for a sip of tea. The thing with working as a barista, at least for the chain that I'm working at, is that we don't serve you. We call out your orders and you come get it. And I worked 3 days this week, and my voice is still kind of crackly and raspy, and so, tea. But after that, I read Crowns and Swords by J.L. Mayrick. And this was a book that had both LGBTQ and polyamory wrap in it, so I was really excited. I wanted it to be cute, I wanted it to be sweet, and I wanted just to be a good representation for poly relationships, because I'm poly, and I'm also part of the LGBTQ. So, you know, I wanted it to be good, I wanted it to be there, but it ended up being a 3-star read. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked it, and it had its really cute and really sweet moments, but I can't really put my finger on what it is that keeps it from getting a higher star rating. It just didn't get up there for me. I liked it, and it was good, but I don't know, I can't justify this 3-star. It just is. But Crowns and Swords by J.L.M. Mayrick, with its LGBTQ rap and its poly rap. And I think what bothers me is that stuff happened to one of the partners. Let's just put it like that. And then we have Graveyard Shift by Melanie Davis. 5-star read. You heard me gush about it in the beginning, but let me just... yes. Vampires, magic, werewolves, what's not to love? It's an enemies to lovers. It's LGBTQ. It's good. The second book comes out soon too, so you bet your ass I'm gonna apply for that hard copy as well. The last book I read in July was Called by Kira Saito. I probably butchered that as well. And it's a 3-star read, and it's a fantasy story supposed to take place in Savannah, Georgia, and I have always had a strange fascination. Again, I have always had a strange fascination with like Savannah and New Orleans and places like that, because from the rest of the world, at least from my point of view, those are like Savannah, New Orleans, and Salem, Massachusetts are like magical places to visit in the States, and I really want to go there if I ever get the chance. But also I'm terrified of visiting the States. But so I was excited. But the book didn't turn out to be quite what I expected it to be or what I thought it would be. It ended up being a lot about, like, the author did a great job of putting up or like writing the surroundings and what was going on, but there was a lot of focus on the surroundings, like the buildings and the roads and whatnot, so it kind of made me lose focus. Because it felt like, for me, it felt like the story got kind of lost because the author put so much time and effort into, like, really, sorry about that, cat popped the camera, but the author put so much effort into, like, the background of everything that I kind of just lost interest. I ended up reading it all, and I can see how other people can find, like, such descriptive backgrounds appealing, but it made me lose focus of the story in general. But it was an okay story. I mean, I ended up giving it a 3-star read, so it was an okay. It was an okay book. I don't regret reading it, but I don't love that I read it either. But yeah, I have actually started reading at least one of my August Hopeful books, but we'll see. I have entered like a mindset where it's hard for me to pick up a physical book to read right now, but I really want to finish it. So, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, now I'm gonna give the cat some more attention, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, and have fun. Bye!